In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can turn a combination wrench into a dowel cutter. To get started, we're going to use the cheapest pair of wrenches that you have. If you do plan on modifying these, just know right now that they'll never be anything other than dowel cutters. You absolutely cannot use these again to turn nuts. If we're looking at the combination wrench, we have the head and the profile here. The profile is basically the size. If you look at this combination wrench, I have one point that juts forward more than the other one. This is the one that I plan on using to cut dowels with. But this one is completely unnecessary. Now, that doesn't mean that we go and we cut it off completely, because obviously we want to have that profile, but we want to cut it down a little bit so that when we're cutting into the wood, we're not bumping into the front of it, kind of pinching into it. Again, it's this point here that we're going to sharpen. If we think about how this works on the tool rest, we'll put the pressure down here and this will cut into it. We don't want to sharpen the inside, we just want to sharpen the outside. Again, because we don't want to change the profile. You could use any kind of sanding paper, but I strongly recommend using a type that's made for metal, like this zirconia. We'll bring this in here and we're going to grind off the tip and then just sharpen that back side. You'll notice I rounded the top part of it. That again just allows the wood to brush past it and not really vibrate it and move it around. You could really polish this down to get it a little bit sharper, whatever you choose to do. Now we'll smooth each side of the head. We'll do that because most of these heads are round. This is a little bit sharp here, but it's really rounded inside here. So we want this to be flat, because as we make it flat, it'll be more square and it'll have a sharper edge, which is what we want. Now we want to cut a piece of wood that is just slightly bigger than the profile of the wrench. Since the wrench I just worked on was 3/4 of an inch, I'm going to come in here and set my fence 13/16 away from the blade, which is just a 1/16 bigger. And now we'll chuck this up. Before we go cutting into this, we still want to make sure that we round it a little bit, just slightly. This will help to reduce any kind of vibrating later on. Now that we've rounded the corners off a little bit, we can start. One really good thing about these wrenches is that they're not actually the right size. So this might be a 3/4 inch wrench, but it's actually slightly larger. And that's a good thing, because now I can come back with sandpaper and sand this down a little bit until it's the right size. And there we go. Now I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that these are the best way to make dowels. This is a store-bought one. It does look a little bit nicer, but usually when we use dowels, we're not really worried about the surface as much as we are about the thickness of it. But if I look at the thickness of this, I'm right at about 0.75. Let me know in the comments what you think.